everyone, and welcome to the 13th episode of the Positively Disney Phone-In Show. I'm Kimberly Bouchard, and I'm the author of the Positively Disney Books series that are stories of hope, healing, inspiration, and celebration from people all over the world. And I really look forward to sharing with you tonight and giving you the opportunity to chat with us this evening. You know, I can't believe that Thanksgiving has come and gone and we're right around the corner from Christmas. And I wanted to let everybody know that I really appreciate you joining us and calling in and sharing what is in your Disney hearts. And next Monday, December 4th, will be our last episode before the new year. And we'll be returning Monday, January 15th, because January 8th, besides being Elvis Presley's birthday, it's actually my husband's birthday as well. So I thought family comes first in my house. And so January 15th, we'll be returning 6 to 6:30-ish. Tonight, I actually have a show from 6 to 6:30 on the nose pretty much, because I actually have been interviewed on another Disney podcast this evening. So if you want to call in, the number to call is 844-483-4763. And I welcome anybody that would like to call in and share an experience. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I'll tell you, I just love Thanksgiving. I always loved the way the Americans had introduced Thanksgiving as a kickoff to the Christmas season, which is my favorite season. As some of you may or may not know, I'm actually Canadian. I'm from Canada and moved here about 6 years ago. And we celebrate our Thanksgiving in October, the very beginning of October. And I always envied that of the Americans and just absolutely love it. And I don't know about your traditions. We're going to actually be speaking about some traditions of your own when you visit the Disney parks, or how you bring Christmas into your house, a little Disney into your house on next week's episode. But for now, Thanksgiving in our family, we had a great turkey dinner. We actually decorated. We got the tree. We haven't quite decorated it yet, but we decorated the rest of the house. And we actually started a new tradition this year. And we went to a movie. And that movie was Coco. I will tell you that movie, I saw the trailer, but I had no idea what was coming. And I will tell you that we laughed, we cried, we were surprised. And that is one of the movies that will touch you to the core. Absolutely loved every single thing about it. And you will too. I won't ever give any spoilers, but it was absolutely fantastic. And it was a perfect evening to our Thanksgiving. So check out Coco, you guys. It's just unbelievable. Of course, Pixar does it again. And for those of you that have visited Epcot, you know that they have the Pixar shorts, which I absolutely love. And I love it when they change out one or two of them. But I'll tell you, I think if you're of the same mind as I am, you too would love not only Coco, but the Pixar shorts, of course, that they do so phenomenally well. And so, you know, one of the things that I have always loved to do is share my Disney experiences with others that happen to be traveling with me. And sometimes I get to share Disney experiences with people across the country that are in another Disney park. And this happened to me last year when we were in Walt Disney World. And one of my best friends here, she was in Disneyland with her family. And she challenged me to a Buzz Lightyear, I guess, competition to see who would do better. And I don't know if you guys have ever had that opportunity to connect with your friends while they are in another park. I know that a lot of you guys, you know, we connect with each other when we're in the parks, but it was just really, really fun to connect with her in in when we were in Walt Disney World, and I beat her, which is really fun. And Buzz Lightyear, I know it was all the rage, of course, with Toy Story coming out, which I also love Toy Story, but it sort of has made its way back into our family as one of those go-to must-do rides. And I'll never forget one of my kids reading up on the actual ways of getting the most points, and of course he shared that knowledge with us and managed to get that golden ticket, whatever the it was a sort of a badge with 999,000 points or something like that. And so anyways, that's something that is a must do, and got my fast pass book for Buzz Lightyear. Another ride that I love, because I love Toy Story. I love the Toy Story Mania. It's just so much fun gaining all those points and seeing who can beat each other, in our family of five. At any rate, another story that I wanted to share with you is how wonderful it is to share a new Disney experience. And I'm not talking about just with my family, but with others that haven't been to the parks before. And I will never forget when this was about in 2010, and there were several families of us that were going to be in the area. And we, by then, of course, had the reputation of hanging on to us as far as taking them around to the parks. People wanted to get a day with us in one of the parks, because we have been very blessed to have gone to 3 different Disney parks: the Disneyland Paris, Disneyland, and Walt Disney World. And I'll never forget our friends that had their 2 teenage sons that had gone off on their own one day when we had met up with the parents, and that just kind of, we said a quick hello, and then they went off because they were going to do their thing, which is fine. But it was really funny that 15 minutes later, they came and joined us because they were quite overwhelmed, and they knew that if they hung out with us, we would take them on the best ins and outs, what to do, what not to do, and all that. So that was really fun. And we've also been with another family. There was actually, I think there was about 10 of us that we were shuffling through Magic Kingdom in the heat of July one time. And we just had it all planned out so well, which really you do have to do these days. You do have to plan out your vacation if you want to hit those attractions in the parks. Sometimes, and especially at Christmas when we go, we do different things. We do it a little differently. We're very aware of all the crowds and the crazy amount of crowds and people there. And we just take it in and absorb it more. We actually kind of smell the flowers a bit more, so to speak. By the way, I see Jenny has joined us, and Mike is on as well. I want to say hello to you guys. Again, the number to call in if you want to share a story with us tonight is 844-483-4763. Something that I always have enjoyed is meeting people and talking with you. And I have been especially privileged to be able to meet all kinds of folks that have contributed to the stories in the books, or have actually called on to the podcast. And today I had a really quite a special interview that I conducted for actually book 4 that will be out in July. And some of you may have heard about the Sherman brothers, Robert and Richard. They were instrumental for producing the musical scores for Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Carousel of Progress and all that. And I had the great opportunity today to actually interview Robbie Sherman and hear his story with regards to his family, his dad, his uncle, and even some interesting pointers from Walt himself that he passed on to Robbie's father and uncle, and then that were passed on to Robbie. So that was just a really really cool interview that I feel very, very blessed to have conducted today. Again, the number 844-483-4763. Last week, we ended the show quite abruptly, actually, a bit more so than what I normally do. We had a little bit of a crash, but it was actually good timing for our crash. At any rate, I still had another caller last week, and I ended up chatting with this lovely woman that it was calling from Eastern US, and we talked for about half an hour, 45 minutes after the show, and it was really lovely just to be able to chat with her when she couldn't get back. We had already finished the show, but it was always lovely to hear from people. And here we go to our first caller. Hello, welcome to the show. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hola, it's Lauren.
Oh, hi, Lauren. I was just mentioning last week I spoke to this lovely woman across the country after the show, and it was really so awesome to speak with you, Lauren. Thank you for calling in tonight.
No problem. It was really good talking with you, too. I enjoyed our conversation and your company.
Oh, thank you. Lauren, I was wondering, something that you had shared last week with me, if you would share with the audience about your experience at the concert and just tell about that or anything else you want to share. But I just loved that. I loved that, what you had told me. Well, I loved our whole conversation.
No
Ahead.
Other things, it's not my thing to share. Hopefully you'll figure out a way to get that out there. Yeah. That was beautiful as well.
Yeah.
But no, I'll definitely share that. So basically I have been praying to meet Jodi Benson since I was like 6, 7 years old. And this was way back in the 90s, like we're dating ourselves here, but it was like way back in the 90s. And when I first started to understand, what voiceover was and who these people were, behind it and all that, and having a growing appreciation and affection for what they do and admiration for what they do. And Jodi had pretty much done something really extraordinary for me through her portrayal of Arial all these years. And so I had been praying and hoping and wishing to meet her. So it finally happened in October of 2012, October 14th, actually. And I went to one of her concerts that she had about an hour or two away from where I live. And a friend was kind enough to come with me because I'm blind, so I can't drive.
Right.
I did have a line of sight at one point, but that's neither here nor there. Right. But anyway, so we got up there and stuff, and the concert itself was great. Jodi was the first person I heard to sing Wizard and I, and that had an impact on me as well because I knew what Wicked was. Right. I never really heard any of the music. So when I heard her sing that, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. I got to get the actual soundtrack. But her version of it, she did the same song, but it was just her inflection. And the other things she did with it were my favorites. But I mean, I did appreciate what Adina did, and I did appreciate what Eden did when they, when they did the role. But it was Jodi was the first one I heard to actually sing the song. Yeah. But funny little anecdote about that whole thing. When she was singing, and since it was my first time hearing it, I didn't realize there was supposed to be a pause in the middle of one of the verses. So I thought something was wrong. And I kept mouthing to her, I was like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" Because I had no idea. I didn't know. I couldn't see. So right. It was like I was going by. And my friend's like, "Yeah, she's fine. She's giving the okay sign over there." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, that's funny. You never
Line
know.
Moment.
Yeah.
Line girl moment.
Oh.
Hashtag. But so anyway, so basically she did a lot of really awesome things. She sung Colors of the Wind, which was, all us Disney lovers have heard Judy Kuhn do it, and she is amazing. But I guess my favorite second would be Jodi because she did a really good job with it too.
Yeah.
And she actually told us a story of how she got to hear the song before it actually even came, was released.
Oh.
I won't go into that, but it was actually pretty cool. She actually got to sit down the piano with Steven and listen to him play the actual song. When it was, first being created, and,
right.
He had the whole thing, but he still had to tweak it a little bit, I guess,
neat.
or whatever. But, no. So, but, nothing could beat, though. I mean, she did a lot of really cool things. I loved how she did Circle of Life with the kids that she brought with her. Well, I mean, they signed up and they had to
right.
practice. They had to, put work into all this.
Yeah.
But, she had fun with them too. But she, the Circle of Life was one of the last two things she sung before she, sung the, Part of Your World. So
wow.
she, one of a really funny thing, that I did, and I don't mind sharing this. It's actually hilarious. Excuse me. So we get to a certain point, and everyone's sitting there, or wait, they have a few more things they're going to do, and they usually have, programs set up, and, you have to go by the book most of the time. And
right. Yeah.
all that stuff, and do whatever.
Yeah.
So she, put down and this is how I know this, because I heard her, put something down on I guess the music stand or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, okay guys, she's like, there's a couple more things. There's a couple more songs listed here, but I'm going to break the rules. And like, they were like all these gasps, and I didn't gasp. So I was like, okay, this is cool, whatever. Let her do what you want.
Bring it on. Yeah.
And, and I was like, what? And, and she's like, I know there's one particular song you traveled probably millions of miles to hear me sing. Here's your choice. So we could go on, we can finish out the way it's supposed to be finished, or I could just skip and sing the song that I know you guys want me to sing. What do you want to do? So I'm sitting in my chair, and I'm like, I gave her a lot of positive feedback, and at this point I was like, do it. I was like, sing it. I was like, sing Part of Your World, please.
Yeah.
And she, like, according to my friend, she smiled over at me, and it was really nice. So she does that, and I'm sitting there, and I mean, hearing her, hearing it in the movie, obviously it's very beautiful, very moving and all that,
right.
but hearing her do this live I got chills, because she still has it at, however old she is now. I'm not going to guess. And not like that, she still has it. There's nothing that she's lost. And it just, I don't know about any of you guys out there, and I mean, and you, Kimberly, but hearing her do that, like, I just closed my eyes and I could see this scene in the movie in my mind. Like, it transported me back to that first time that I saw the movie in theaters when I was 6. And it was just one of those very powerful moments. And it was, oh my gosh, it was incredible.
That's fantastic. I love, I mean, anybody knows, if they've been to a concert, if they've been to anything, even the processional at Walt Disney World, anything, the live music is so powerful. Wow. I did not even realize that she toured or did any of that. Where were you sitting, Lauren? Where were you sitting in the audience?
It felt like I was close, but I know I wasn't in the first row, because those are roped off. They always are, not for people, but just, for, I don't know why they do that, but they don't let people sit in the front. It's usually starting from the third to the, right. going backwards.
Okay.
So I guess I was in the third or fourth row. I'm pretty sure, because I'm going to say that, the fifth or sixth, because when this other thing happened, and I want me to talk about it, and I will, with Thomas, he and his mother were in, I think, the third one.
Okay.
And that's how I was able to, like, hear everything that happened. And that was actually pretty cool too.
Okay.
So Jodi, she has a way with people, and I don't mean, like, she's just awesome. And to see her around children is just very, very magical and very, very profound and authentic. So, like, I don't know, I guess it was like 40 minutes into the concert or something, because it was a couple of years ago, so I'm just trying to remember.
Right.
It was somewhere in the middle of that, where she was completely, I mean, she was done singing for the moment anyway, but she looks down the audience, and she apparently, I'm just saying from what I heard, that she, she started talking to this little boy, and she's like, hi, she's like, what's your name and all this stuff. And his mom, told her and explained that he had Down syndrome and that he had wanted to come here for a long time to see her. Oh. And she's like, you know what? She's like, I'm really glad you're here. And he's like, are you enjoying the music? And I'm guessing he died or something.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. And she was like, I'm really glad, I'm so proud of you that you brought Ariel with you and that you weren't afraid or ashamed to do that. And I'm sure she's enjoying herself too. And she's like, give me a high five. And the whole experience was just incredible. For her to take that time out of probably a really regimented, frame of time that she had, and just devote it to this little boy. I think he was like 5 or 6. And it was just surreal to witness this. And even standing in line waiting to meet her and hearing the way that she talked to kids and the way that she just was on their level, but didn't never talk down to them, but still obviously, like it was awesome.
Very engaging. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's fantastic. And I just think it would be such a privilege, wouldn't it, to hear there's so many of the voices of Disney. I'll call them the voices of Disney that are, able to sing these beautiful, beautiful songs. And you said that it was the Circle of Life. I think you said she sung also, right?
Yeah. What she did with that was she sung it, but she did it with a group of kids. They were doing the choruses and this and that. And it was so awesome. I mean, I love that the Circle of Life, not to deter anything from what we're actually talking about, but that holds a special place in my heart because I went to go see Lion King with my papa, and he took me on. It wasn't the day it came out. It was like, I guess, a week or so after everyone else had time to be there. Yeah. Because it was a really big thing. So he took me, but I didn't know. Like, he pretty much surprised me. Oh. And I know we were at the movies, but I didn't know. I had no idea what was
Which
going on.
One? Okay.
He wouldn't even let me see the popcorn bag because that had Simba as a little, on there. Yeah. So he wouldn't let me see that. He was like, I'll carry the popcorn, you carry the drink, because the drink was like in a generic
cup,
cup or whatever. Yeah. And we get in there, and then he's like, okay, now you can have the popcorn because I know because light was going down and stuff. And I just remember sitting there, and when that first drum and that first, chant starts, it pulled me in from the very beginning. And I still, whenever I listen to the soundtrack, I still have good flashbacks. Yeah. I mean, of sitting there in theater with my papa and just kind of just taking this all in. Yeah. And it was it's one of the reasons I love Lion Guard. I don't care. I'm an adult, but I love that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's the reason Lion Guard's doing so well, is because it was stemmed from something so enormous and just wonderful.
Yeah. Every time I hear that song, I cry. Some of you guys that have been to the where the Land of the Living Soarin' and all that is, there is that theater that shows the Circle of, or has the song of Circle of Life, and it's kind of a documentary, but I'll tell you, I come out of there with tears in my eyes every time I go see the performance of Lion King at Walt Disney World, which is a must do for our family. I just love it. I never, ever get sick of it. And I really wish I would have been able to see it on Broadway when I was in New York a few weeks ago, but time did not lend itself whatsoever to see it. But we're very, it's amazing that the musical scores and that Disney comes out with. I mean, I don't think there's one that I don't like. It's sometimes maybe there's certain things in a movie that, maybe is better than others, but I'll tell you, the music, hands down, is just absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, it definitely is. Yeah. I mean, I'm as a kid, I mean, I love just the Can't Wait to Be King. I mean, who didn't love that? I mean, that was the funniest thing.
Fun.
But then, I still like it. But now as a young adult, I have a better appreciation, obviously, for Circle of Life and even Rhythm of the Pride Lands, where Shadowland kind of comes into it. That score that they play in the movie actually became an actual local song that was sung by Nala in the Broadway version, which unfortunately I didn't get a chance to see. But fun tidbit for all you Lion Guard fans out there, Jasiri, who's one of my favorite characters in Lion Guard, the good, funny, sweet hyena, she's voiced by Maya Mitchell, and the way she got that role was she was actually going to see Lion King on Broadway, and they approached her, I guess, after she had gotten done watching it, to voice Jasiri, and he took it right away. And she was like, "Oh yeah," she was like, "I'll voice a hyena, I'll voice her. She's a sweetheart, so I'll do that."
Fun.
And it was, it was awesome.
Gosh, you just never know where, that's kind of being at the right place at the right time, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
Oh, gosh, Lauren, that is so fun. Thank you so much for sharing that, and I look forward to hearing from you again sometime. And, I'll be speaking with you next week as well, or during the week, I should say. By the end of the week, I've got to tell you some news. But Lion King, I'm sure a lot of you are huge fans of that. And I had actually this week, it was really fun. It was, I think it was Tuesday. It was, I actually interviewed one of the animators that worked on the film. And I'll never forget him telling me about the guy next door playing the piano, and it was a little bit hard sometimes to concentrate, especially as a new animator. And the guy playing the piano next door was, of course, Elton John, trying to figure out the diddlies and practicing and stuff like that. Goodness. So, yeah, really fun to hear little stories about that. And, Lion King, they, as any movie that is released, you never know how it's going to do. There's no formula, right, that for success, because then everybody would be successful, at everything, so there's no formula. So they never really know what movie is going to be a hit. And I'll never forget, I heard this about Frozen, actually. And by the way, I still love Frozen. I love the musical. And there's even a little part, I think it's called Olaf's Christmas Adventure, a little thing that's really fun and cute.
Not get started with that, please. I want to keep this positive.
Yeah. No, it's before Coco. It's really fun. And, it's something that they had no idea how Frozen would do. So they had a few little things in merchandising, and all that. And then when it went catastrophically, every little girl wanted everything to do with Frozen. They were just caught and they had to get things out there. But absolutely love the soundtrack of that. And I know some of you parents have had your little ones wanting to see the movie maybe too many times or singing it over and over. And, last Christmas, so they have this, it's called the Frozen Sing-Along in Hollywood Studios, and grabbed my teenagers and the whole family and said, we got to go see this because I've heard so many wonderful things. And anybody that thinks that they don't want to do the Frozen Sing-Along, go check it out because it's really a lot of fun. But Lauren, anyways, thank you so much. And I really look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Oh, and, before we go, do you mind if I plug something?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so my best friend Becca and I, sweet person. Oh my gosh, I love her. We've started a podcast called Spirit of Avalor.
Right.
And it is an Elena of Avalor themed podcast for the show on Disney Channel. And that is just amazing and extraordinary. And I love Elena. She's just incredible and awesome. And we review episodes. We do top 10 songs, top 10 episodes, favorite episodes. Yeah. We have interviews coming up from my mouth to God's ears, with Craig Gerber, the producer and the creator of Elena. So that'll be fun. And then we were also obviously hoping to bring you on to talk about your book.
Absolutely.
Because that'll be fun. Because it is Elena, but we're going to try and branch out a little bit and do other, more generic Disney stuff, especially with the Elena hiatus coming up in December through January. Hopefully it's not any longer than February.
Right. Yeah.
So,
where can people find you, Lauren? Where can people find this podcast?
You can find the Raja. I'm sorry. For those of you who don't know, I have a tabby cat. His name's Raja. After Jasmine's tiger, he decided he was just going to come over here and nip me.
Oh dear.
He wanted attention. But anyway, so you can find the podcast at Spirit of Avalor podcast on Twitter.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, it's just at Spirit of Avalor, but I don't know what Becca actually did with it. I think it's one of the two. It is one of the two.
Okay.
And then on YouTube, which is where we're posting these because we can't really use iTunes for that much, it's just Spirit of Avalor podcast on YouTube. And we have 2 episodes up so far. The third one should be up sometime this week. So
nice.
We review Secret of Avalor and then First Day of Rule, which is the first episode. So.
Okay. So yeah.
And it's family friendly.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's what it's about. It's about sharing not only our groups, but it's about sharing our podcast because, hey, if it's Disney, we're all in the same family. We're all in the same boat. So thank you so much, Lauren, for sharing that. And any of our listeners can definitely go in and check that out as well. You take care, Lauren. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Yeah, you too. Well, folks. Yeah, you too. Thanks, Lauren. And just to remind you that we do have a little bit of a shorter show this evening, as I'm going to be on an interview right away. But please bring your Christmas traditions and your things that you bring into your house for Christmas. Disney things that you incorporate in your Christmas next week for our final show of the year, which will be our 14th show. I've got a long way to go with some of you other podcasters in your 60s and hundreds and several hundreds or whatever, but slowly but surely I'll get to that number and we'll be celebrating. Again, thank you for joining me tonight. Have a wonderful week. Be safe. We'll see you next week at 6 o'clock to 6:30-ish Pacific time. Take care. Bye-bye.